G'day fellas and welcome to a casted game. Spawning in on the northeast side of the map, we've got Luciferon7, who is going to be playing the French for us today, opening up with a scout. So going to be playing the 2 scout opening. His opponent, who spawns on the opposite side of the map, it is I Am Magic playing the Rus. And he is also going to be opening up with the scout opening, but a little bit different from what you expect. So just going to be going with the standard hunting cabin, into the house, into the lumber camp opening that we typically do see out of Rus plays. And take a look at that little monument that he's got in the middle of the town center. What is that exactly? It looks like a villager playing a... Obviously, it's not a guitar. Is it a lute? I don't know exactly what that instrument is. If you know what the instrument is, leave a comment down below, because I tell you what, I would love to know. But speaking of loving to know, I would love you guys to know that this game is part of the EGC Winter Series. This is the second Winter Series that EGC TV is hosting up. So big shout out over to them. Big thank yous go around to them for sponsoring this event. If you're interested in seeing more content like this, or more casts like this, then make sure you check out the EGC TV Discord. I'm going to leave a link in the description so that you guys know exactly where to join that one. But let's talk a little bit about this game, because we've got ourselves a little bit of a classic matchup, I would say. Rus versus France on high view. This is a map, so you guys will know that this map is a map that has got a lot of Gaia on it, which is part of the reason why the Rus are typically a favored civ on a map like this, just because it's so easy for them to get up on that bounty and get that nice early gold trickle beginning. But you can see that already he's up to 205 gold, going to be looking to secure out those scouts all over the map, and you can see he's actually found towards the front of the base. Magic picking up a hunt from his opponent, so there's 7 deer out here for him to pick up. I don't actually think... No, Luciferon has actually uncovered this one, so a curious decision that he didn't actually go and look to take this one. Did open up with those 2 scouts, so we'll have to see exactly how he goes. But realizing now that that his enemy has come out here, he's going to be trying to neutralize this hunt. But he's got to be a bit careful here, because I think if Luciferon is not paying attention, he could potentially lose this wolf here. But it looks like he's managed to pick up the deer. 1 remaining deer here for Luciferon. So he's going to be able to get that. Manages to secure up the wolf as well, bringing out that 2nd scout. But going to be having a bit of a tough time. Villagers now focusing on collecting that food. Going to be looking to age up very soon. You can see he's got 330 in the bank at the moment. So going to be dropping down that school of cavalry any second. And here it comes, 3, 2, 1. Where is it going to go? Right there? Right there. One of the 2. We'll have to see. There it goes. So going to go with the first slot. 4 villagers going to be on that now. And looking to add in a lumber camp. So potentially going to be going into professional scouts. I really wouldn't be surprised. It is a very common opening that we see here. So I'm curious to see how Magic is going to be playing into it. He's obviously going to be doing professional scouts himself. He's got the 1st scout, 2nd scout, and 3rd scout out on the map. Going to be spotting out that 2nd hunt. Already up to 205 bounty. That's going to secure his 250 bounty, and that's exactly what he wants. A couple of sheep down here as well for him to pick up, so he'll be looking to get that, and going to be dropping down the golden gate in his base. That's 6 villagers on that bad boy, so no real surprises there. Everything is par for the course at this point in time, but where do we expect things to go? Where do we expect it to unfold or change up? What do we expect to see differently out of these players? Well, to be honest, I really don't know exactly what it's going to be. The School of Cavalry, it's going to be scouts. We're going to see a mill drop down on the berries any second now. There it is. So it's going to be professional scouts. 6 idle villagers there. So it's going to be professional scouts. It's going to be scouts coming out of the School of Cavalry. Probably into, I would imagine, a fast castle. He's going to be looking to match the Rus fast castle. But thinking about it, if I was Luciferon, I'd probably want to be thinking out a bit more outside the box. So you know that the Rus player, you don't want to play into what they're doing. So maybe it makes sense to sort of go for, early spears and then potentially look at controlling the relics, but obviously then you're going up against horse archers, so who knows, maybe he looks to go some early knights potentially and apply pressure. For the Rus player, I mean, we can almost 100% be guaranteed that we're going to see a professional scout in a fast castle here. Wooden fortress going to be going down on the front wood line here, no surprises there. Oh, he's short by 3 gold. He's short by 3 gold. Oh, he's short by 3 gold. You hate to see it. You hate to see it. The sheep are running back. He's going to have to kill... Okay, he's actually just done a sale instead. So having to sell some food there. So a little bit of a misplay there from Magic. And these 2 players are at such a high level. Keep in mind, these guys are currently playing in a best of 3. So this is a best of 3 right now in the Winter Series. The winner of this game will go on to face the winner of Don Artie versus the Viper. Now, I've already casted those games. I'm not going to spoil them here for you on the channel. but you can go check those ones out. They were posted a couple videos back, so make sure you go have a look for them. You know, any game with Viper in it, we're going to mention Viper in the thumbnail, in the title. I'm sure you probably didn't miss that one, but yeah, the winner of that series going to be going up against Lucifron or Magic, depending on which one wins. So Lucifron going to be opening up with the scouts coming out of the School of Cavalry. Professional scouts on the way as well. You can see it doesn't have too long. He's going straight into Wheelbarrow after it as well. So very curious decision here. Looking to focus a bit more on his economy. And take a look at that. No villagers on gold. Is he committing to a very strong Age 2 here? Actually, 4 villagers on stone. He's looking to play it a little bit more economically. At least it seems that way. This is actually one of the greediest French builds I think you could probably do. Professional scouts, it's basically a mandatory thing, right? When you think about professional scouts, you got to do it. You can't not do professional scouts. If you don't do professional scouts, well, you're just not going to have any food. Your opponent's going to have way more food than you. I've done classes on this before about why professional scouts is so damn good. But essentially, each hunt has got, you know, 7 deer, and each deer is 350 food. That's a lot of food. That's 2450 food. And there's 2 hunts, so it's basically 5,000 food. And your enemy's going to take that from you. So basically, they get a net swing of 10,000 food. It's important to go professional scouts. And then going into a second town center, I think that's a very safe move. I would love to see, he's probably just going to go second town center straight into Fast Castle. I really wouldn't be surprised to see that coming out from Lucifron here, especially in a meta like this where it's just so safe for players to actually do that. I think it makes a lot of sense, especially knowing what he's going to be up against. So you got to think about it from his perspective. He knows, okay, the Rus player is going to go professional scouts. He's going to go and he's going to take the majority of the relics. And then I've got to contend with that. I've got to compete with that. So how do I do that? Well, I've got to take it late. I've got to have a high villager count. And that's exactly what he's doing. So thinking outside the box, really well played by him to be doing this. And I got to say, I agree with it. He's going to be dropping off, I would expect, any second now, pulling those villagers off stone. There we go. And looking to drop down that second town center. Where does it go down? Back towards this gold mine is where he's going to be placing it. Nice and safe, away from any potential threat of men-at-arm and ram pushes. So one of the things that we do see out of players is a sort of forward town center like this. But keep in mind, if that does get spotted out by Magic, then he would definitely look to punish that with a fast castle into ram men-at-arm push. So yes, very important. But now I'd be curious to see where Lucifron goes from here. I would expect that he would be looking to go quite heavily into gold and potentially look to age up, because he has scouted out that his opponent's got walls up. And typically when an opponent is walling up, they don't want you to attack them. That's the big thing. They don't want you to attack them. But plenty of scouts coming out. He's actually got 9 scouts out. So I wouldn't be surprised if we actually see a bit of a dive. In fact, I take that back. That's 10 scouts out. 11th scout coming out. He is going for the full scout spam at this point. This is really the new meta about what we've been seeing, where players just go for so many scouts, because you can actually use these scouts to dive your enemy's scouts. So I wouldn't be surprised if we saw Lucifron actually look to wall off the front of his town center, just because of the potential threat of his enemy actually looking to dive that as well. So we'll have to keep an eye out for that and see whether he looks to go for that. But how much have we got out on the map here remaining? It looks like these two have picked up the last carcasses out here. In fact, I think almost everything has been picked up except for the 2 carcasses that are hidden down underneath this tree. Everything else on the map has been picked up, so these ones are going to be a bit harder to find. Magic should know where they are. Speaking of knowing where they are, Magic does reach the next age, so going up with the Abbey of the Trinity. 8 minutes 30, not too bad of a time. You could expect anywhere from 8 minutes to 9 minutes, typically. Obviously, the faster, the better. But going to be looking now to be adding in those warrior monks, adding in 3 archery ranges here as well. So just playing the standard play here. Now, he should have spotted out the stone here. I would expect that he would spot out that stone and then potentially look at Lucifron now coming up. We have got some Grand Theft Venison by the looks of it. He's now looking to begin engaging upon his opponent. So many scouts out right here, and you can see that those deer are all tucked underneath the town center nice and safely. He wants to avoid any sort of shenanigans, and how many has he got there? 6 deer for him to potentially steal right at the front. So if I was Magic, I would be moving these bad boys towards the back, and you know exactly what Lucifron wants to do. He wants to do that. Knight now going to be moving up as well for him, and he's looking to start putting on the hurt. Now that horse archer going to get tapped away, and now they go under. We've got the Grand Theft Venison beginning. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 all get loaded up. You can see just how quickly he goes in, snags it. One of those going to be managing to stay alive, but unfortunately, like the Bee Gees, they will not be staying alive. Wait, hold on, Drogo. I'm just like, because it was the Bee Gees who sung that song, right? Like, I don't want to get DMCA, but I can't tell by the way I walk, or something like that. I want to sing that song now. Okay, that's enough. But I'm hoping that no BG's members got assassinated. I know Beatles got assassinated. I'm hoping no BG's got assassinated, because that would have been a terrible joke. Like, oh, well, unlike the BG's, these guys will not be staying alive. Wait, no, that would be fine. Anyway, let's talk more about the game, because we've got ourselves a little bit of a chase at the moment. Looks like the 6 scouts are going to be coming up empty-handed, but a great little theft there coming out from Lucifron. Really, really nice job. And going to show, it is so important, in my opinion, to wall the front of your base. Just across like this, it delays your enemy, forces them to sort of like think, like, oh, how am I going to get in here? It's just the spanner that you've got to throw in the works there for your enemy, especially when they're looking at stealing that. And then, most importantly, moving it to the back, underneath the villages here, where it's a little bit harder to click on as well, is another big thing. Makes those scouts run a little bit further. So a bit of a mistake there from Magic. I'm curious to see whether he's going to be able to capitalize, or whether he's going to be able to... whether he's going to be able to make up for it. But Lucifron really looking to actually stick in the second age, so not actually playing third age too much. Keep in mind that as a French player, he does have the faster generating villages. Well, faster training villages, I should say. Which is going to enable him to build up that economy much faster than any other Civ would. So he's got the 2 town centers out. These guys are going to be training villages. You can take a look down here, 17 seconds. So 3 seconds faster than a normal villager. So for a normal civilization, they might get 5 villages out, and the French are going to get 6 villages out. Then you times that by 2, because he's got 2 town centers, and he is having a great time. So we take a look at the villager count, 55 for Lucifron. Compare that over to 40 for Magic, and yeah, Lucifron is definitely ahead by quite a country mile at this point in time. But keep in mind, there are the relics that are out now. We will expect, Lucifron is going to have considered this. His opponent is going to be able to secure all 5 relics, and he knows that. He's going to be able to secure the 3 sacred sites, at least 2 of them. He knows that, and he has accounted for that. He's done the math. He said, all right, well, I'm pretty confident I can beat you in the long run. So that's the way that he's thinking about this game. But obviously Magic is continuing to add in forces, and it's at the 12-minute mark right now, and he's got plenty of units out here. We'll take a look at the production he's got. He's only got 3 archery ranges at this point. Got a scout out here on the extremity of the map, but it's going to get taken out, unfortunately. Still a couple of boars out here that he could potentially kill. This one here would take him up over 400. And there is another boar on the map somewhere else. There it is. So 2 boars very, very close to each other. That would take him over the 500 mark. So, despite these players being very, very good players, and I know a lot of people will look up in the top right-hand corner and see, I am Magic, he's rank 87 or something. Look, don't pay too much attention to the ladder. It's not overly important when it comes to the actual skills of these players. A lot of these guys are just out there trying stuff on the ladder. And so Magic might be rank 87, but, in my heart, he's really rank 2, rank 3. Not really in my heart. Rank 2 is I am Grunt from Age of Empires 3. Rank 3, oh, who's that? Probably Brayden. He's also from Age of Empires 3. Actually, no, he's rank 1 in my heart. All right, I'm gonna. That's another video. That is another video. But yes, Magic is a very good player. He's beaten a lot of huge names coming up into this tournament and getting through to these rounds right now, because we are basically down to the final 8 here. Magic posturing out the front of his opponent's base. Still yet to secure up these 2 relics down towards the south of the map. The south of the map, the east of the map, the bottom of the map, probably the best way to say it. I mean, it's a diamond, it's not a square, but looks like he's going to be fending off a bit of an attack on the front line here. How many deers he got? I wish I could count how many deer are back here for Lucifron. Lucifron now going to be clicking up to the next stage. Nice little scout maneuver out over on this east, or western flank rather, delaying the capture of the sacred site. You can see that it's sitting so close to being captured at this point, and now finally it's going to be able to trickle over. So, it's costing him gold for not being able to do that, but now going to be looking to secure up the sacred site on the far east side of the map as well, and look to chase away these warrior monks. To be honest, I think the warrior monk could probably beat all 3 of these bad boys. But now hitting that next age, we'll take a look at his production, see what he's got coming through. You can see the veteran archers are going to be coming through here. He's only got 4 military production facilities, so not a huge amount at this point, but going to be focusing largely on that villager creation. Got the blacksmith back there, so it does have decarbonization already coming through. Going to be looking at getting the rest of those upgrades through soon. But managing to keep a fair bit of line of sight out on the map, knows exactly what his enemy is up to, and at this point in time, I think that he's achieving what he wants to do, really. He knows what his enemy is going to do. I mean, whenever you come into a game against the Rus, you know what is up. You know how they're going to play. You know what they're going to do. Under most circumstances. There are still circumstances where they go for, like, a fast castle into men-at-arms and rams. That's something that I think we've seen Doubt do quite a bit. But, yeah, we haven't really seen a lot of players begin begin picking that up. And that would actually do quite well in this position because we've only got archers and knights that are here, and there's not a whole lot. So if you brought out like 15, 17, 18 men-at-arms and like 3 rams, you could really do a lot of damage. You could take out all this infrastructure back here, potentially even take out the guild hall, which is on gold. Yeah, that is always a possibility. Magic now going to be under threat, potentially under siege like Steven Seagal. Speaking of Steven Seagal, I actually watched, I can't remember, but like it was a video about Steven Seagal. And he had his, like, you guys know Steven Seagal from, like, Under Siege, the TV show. It's the famous one where the woman comes out of the cake topless and wishes a happy birthday, Mr. President. That one. He's got his own TV show. He's like a cop and someone, I think it was it Tom Segura? I think it was Tom Segura, a comedian. He was doing a bit on Netflix about it, and oh my lord, it was just hilarious the way he talks about Steven Seagal. But now Lucifron going to be pushing out of these forests and looking to try and put a bit of hurt onto his opponent, managing to take out a couple of scouts here. Will enter into the cinematic mode very shortly as these players do look to go mono in mono. But now towards the base of Magic, it does look like a scout manages to spot out exactly what is happening. A relic comes back, and it looks like the monastery is going to get filled up with the 4th relic. I don't actually see the 5th relic, but villagers dying on the front line. Got to be careful here, Magic. You've only got 53 of those villagers compared to your opponent, who sits at the moment on 84. So about 30 villager difference between these two. Now, keep in mind there are other balancing functions, such as the relics that we've already talked about. There's 3 here, 1 over there, and there should be 1 more. But archers got to be careful here. Veteran archers are backing up. We do a bit of a number count at this point in time. 28 archers compared against the 35, and we might have a potential Wallalol coming in here. Magic looking to do it in the back line. Only going to be able to capture at most a knight. Doesn't even get that one off. The archer's going to be trying their best to pick off their back line, but there are so many horse archers in here for Magic. He's doing a great job getting this Wallalol out as well, but going to be able to really punish his opponent, and Lucifron definitely looks like he might be in a tough position and has obviously overextended, overplayed his hand, and realized that his opponent was actually holding pocket aces when he only had ace-king. So a little bit of a misread there by him. But now Magic going to be under attack towards this northern, or western position rather, as the Knights look to isolate the food source of his opponent. Now keep in mind, players are beginning to move out towards berries on the map. There's a double boar spawn that's actually quite favorable for Magic. Definitely more towards his side, but at the same time, Lucifron beginning to wall up on his north side of the base. He's got access to berries as well, but they've unfortunately all been exhausted. Now he's going to have a bit of a push on the front side. He's not really paying attention. He's probably looking towards the base of his opponent as he neutralizes the sacred site. Now finally he's going to realize he's got 84 villagers here, so plenty of economy for him. Considering it's only at 17 minutes, he's done a great job to be able to sort of equalize, or not even equalize, but sort of keep up with his opponent. My main concern, though, is that the mass out for Lucifron, or rather for Magic, is so big at this point that Lucifron really doesn't have much that he can do. I'm thinking the best thing for him is probably going to be a Mangonel. We see a Siege Workshop, and that's exactly what he is thinking, so potentially going to see a Mangonel coming out here. Probably going to need to do a bit of market trading. I don't even know if he's got a market up at this point. We'll have to see exactly what he's up to, but 600 gold is in the bank for him at the Guild Hall, so plenty of resources back there. Villagers going to look to potentially take out this Warrior Monk. Going to have some success as well. That's an expensive Warrior Monk. Does look to get away with 1 health on it. Oh my lord, a single villager chasing it down. And I suspect this village, or this Warrior Monk, will probably get taken out eventually. But yeah, a single HP, a single health point. I know that you guys always meme me whenever I say HP. That's the way I pronounce it. I'm Australian. I'm a little bit special. But now towards the front of Lucifron's base, Magic begins to idle him. I always find it very interesting that players just add farms at the front of their base. It's like you paid 25 wood for this mill, and you're adding like 1,000 resources of mills, and you're going to have villagers exposed here for the whole part of your game. Like, can't you just add a mill back here and like put your farms back there? Like, why do you have to put them on the front line? Like, I know it's convenient and everything, but you've lost how many villagers that have been out here? You've been idle for how long out here? Like, it just seems a little bit ludicrous, that's all. But yeah, Lucifron now looking to continue isolating, or looking to neutralize these sacred sites. He's actually managed to take out one of them. Second one slowly going to be trickling away here as well. But a pretty decent mass going to be coming up for Magic now at this point. He continues to try and do damage on the front, but keep in mind that he's now adding in knights, and his opponent's going to be very careful of that, as we've now got another engagement that begins Walls coming in across. Knights not doing any screening as the enemy Knights for Magic actually get right in on the back line here. He's got to try and do his best to try and cut out here. We'll take a look at the Knights. They, how much have they got on them? They've got, oh my lord, they've got 7 armor. Oh, because they're being buffed up by the Saint's Blessing. But actually, Lucifron looking like he might be in a bit of a tough spot here as Magic continues to push him back. He is falling back towards those town centers. He's going to have plenty of fire as they do garrison inside. The Mangonel actually going to be able to come out and should equalize this pretty efficiently. We'll take a look at the damage that gets done. It looks like about 6 of those bad boys do get hit. You can see he does manage to split them up, and now probably going to be forced back here because this Mangonel, he's got no real way to stop it. Villagers are going to be able to come out and heal this one up. Looks like a shot comes out and only looks to do a damage to a single horse archer, but that Mangonel definitely came out in the nick of time, and now going to continue firing off towards these horse archers. And really, Lucifron definitely on the back foot at this point in time. Mangonel going to continue moving backwards, needs to retarget back towards the front, and those scouts are looking to try and put some damage on. Villagers moving back as well. Going to be able to get a good shot out of there. Second Mangonel going to be coming out in a bit of a bad position here. Needs to be careful now towards the side of his base. We talked about this a little bit earlier. We posed the question, why weren't there more farms added out here? Well, perhaps this is the reason why, because there's potential for raids to come out. Mangonel going to continue firing off and doing a great job. Magic trying his best to put a nail in the coffin here, but Lucifron definitely trying his best to stop that from happening. A raid at the same time going to be happening back here. Looks like a second town center has been added in here for Magic as well. He's going to be taking out villagers. Lucifron down to 80 villagers at this point. His opponent Magic on 58, so not a huge difference between those two, but still substantial. 20 villagers is definitely, you know, that's a fair amount of villagers. So I would be very happy if I was Lucifron, but at the same time, from Magic's perspective, you are within reach. You are within striking distance. 3 Mangonels coming out now. This is the critical number of Mangonels, but at the same time, you would expect that the response from Magic is going to be his own siege workshop, and you would expect that he's going to have Springalds coming out very, very shortly. We do see towards the front of the base that there are indeed siege workshops going down. It looks like he's going for the double and looking to continue isolating out these berries over towards the east of the map. But the appropriate response coming in for him now with that siege workshop. Another raid towards the front of the base. And really you got to ask the question, did Lucifron do a little bit of a failure by not walling up early enough, knowing that he was playing against a Rus player? But now Mangonel's getting off great shots there, managing to take out, it looked like about 3 or 4 of those horse archers. But now towards the front of the base, got to be careful here. There's archers as well as those crossbows or arbaletriers, but they're not going to be able to do too much against these forces, because they're going to be able to take out the majority of the villagers that are here, force that idle time, and once again do a hell of a lot of damage down there. But we'll check back in with Lucifron shortly as we go in and have a look at Magic's perspective. He's actually going Mangonels. This is quite curious. I would have just expected that he would just go for like 4 or 5 Springalds. But to go Mangonels here is very, very strange. Is he looking to out-Mangonel his opponent? Is that potentially what we're going to be seeing here? Who knows? Who knows? A lot of farms, though. Look at this. This is beautiful farmland. Like, really, when you look at this right here, like, this is just absolutely... This is what, you know, you come to SimCity, this is the kind of base that you're building, isn't it? Like, this is just absolutely gorgeous stuff. That is a thumbnail right there if I've ever seen one. But, yeah, those farms are the heartland of Mother Russia. But now Magic going to begin posturing towards the front. Mangonels have come out. Going to be slowly rolling towards his opponent's base. Looks like he is going to be adding in Springalds as well. We'll take a look and see the siege workshop of his opponent, Lucifron, is also getting out those Springalds. Now, keep in mind, when it comes to Springalds, the best Springalds in the game do actually go over to the Rus, in my opinion. Obviously, the Chinese ones are always possible as well, but yeah, the Rus, in my opinion, are the best just because they've got that 13.5 range. Now, a little bit of a mistake there, in my opinion, from Lucifron. Ideally, he should have left that and let the Mangonels just fire up onto that. That would have been disgusting. That would have been absolutely disgusting. So scared them off a little bit. And I gotta say, I love the arbaletrier. I just love the way that they look. They got beautiful little outfits. Mangonel shot. We hear a Mangonel shot. It's okay. It was only on the wall. But damn, that was loud, wasn't it? Springalds now moving up. 120 damage on each of these bad boys against Siege. 240 health on the Mangonel. They're going to one-shot it. 1, 2. Wait. Oh, they don't because of the armor. Because of the armor. There's armor in there. So they survive. It manages to survive with 16 health on it. Yeah, very interesting interaction there. Magic now going to be falling back down towards the south. Still got those Mangonels out as well. Is he adding any more? Doesn't seem like it. He's up to 490 on the bounty. So has actually slayed the boar. You can see one boar. Second boar hasn't actually been killed yet by him. Now another raid coming in behind this. So Magic up to 73 villagers at this point. We'll check in with his opponent, Lucifron. Lucifron, 97 villagers. So still about a 25 villager gap at this point. Those Springalds coming out, and I suspect he's going to continue adding Springalds. A lot of villagers on wood, and not a lot of space at the moment for expansion for Lucifron. He really needs to look to secure up gold. He's got a lot of villagers on stone, and I definitely agree with that. What I would love to see out of him is a castle coming down on this gold right here. This is the big gold. This is the one you want to be fighting over. Your opponent's got a very safe gold, but speaking of opponents, it looks like Lucifron potentially going to be under attack here. Siege coming in, trying his best. Mangonel's going to be falling back. You can see the Arbitrie doing their best to try and deal with these, but he's got no villagers. He needs to pull villagers out onto these Mangonels. Springal's doing a great job from across the wall, and Magic doing a pretty decent job of actually cleaning this one up. Keep in mind, this is a best of 3 series. In the event that Lucifron does go down here, there's going to be 2 more games potentially coming out in a series here where Magic is looking to try and put the nail in the coffin for this first game in the series. Managing to hold on, though. Lucifron fights and holds for dear life. We'll take a look from his perspective and just see how he's going. Sacred Sight's being captured at the moment. Lucifron definitely manages to hold and does a great job with it. And now going to continue pushing back against his opponent. A little bit of a raid coming up towards the north. Not a lot of gold for him, though. Only 8 villagers on gold and only 200 gold left on that gold mine. So he's going to need to secure up a source of gold very shortly because he doesn't really have a lot available to him left. Compare that over to his opponent, who's got the relics in the bag. So he's got 5 relics that are sitting there. 1, 2, 3 in the Abbey of the Trinity, 2 in the monastery. So he's got a constant trickle of that 500 gold. He's got the 2 sacred sites, so that's another 200 gold. He's got 700 gold a minute that is trickling in to him, whereas gold needs to be mined for Lucifron. And Lucifron continues to lose villagers. He's on 93 villagers at the moment, and he's just slowly bleeding villagers up here. It's yet to send any units up here to deal with this. A little bit of an oversight from him. Now those villagers going to be coming out. A castle going to be going down right next to the gold vein. That's exactly what we'd expect at this point, and he really needs to get this up. If he loses this, this is potentially a good game right here. And now it looks like Magic going to be pushing out towards this gold mine. Potentially knows that his opponent is on the edge, and now actually going to spot these villagers here. If he makes this turn around, you can see that Lucifron's double tap down. He's like, no, quickly, hurry, build the castle. And it looks like they've actually gone straight past, so these villagers might actually get this castle up. Doing a great job. We can see that Lucifron is trying his best to get this up, really just moving all of his units over here. He knows how important this is. He's got 11 villagers down here, going to be firing off across this, and it does look like he is going to be able to get it up successfully. So a little bit of a mistake there from Magic, and now that castle does get up. He does secure the gold mine. He is still in the game, and you can see just how many resources he's got banked up right there. He needs to just move 45 villagers out here, and still this knight is out here. How many villagers has this knight killed? He's on 94 villagers for Lucifron at the moment. We'll do a comparison. His opponent, Magic, on 81. Keep in mind, there are those 5 relics, those 2 sacred sites that are going to be giving him that gold trickle, but he is fighting for dear life now. Magic still forcing this back on his opponent. Double Mangonels coming out right now. It's the only siege that's on the field, I think. Lucifron actually with no siege. He is bringing out Mangonels, though, and definitely needs to do a bit of market trading. There's 6 armor on these bad boys. It's going to take a lot of town center fire to go through those, and we need to see more walls up here. Really, we need to be connecting the dots, unfortunately, with the base of Lucifron. Magic is just going to continue running units through him. Now Magic going to be pushing towards the front of his enemy. You can see he's got plenty of resources in the bank here. Probably looking to do a castle potentially if he does pull up those villagers. But now going to be getting off those decent shots, taking out so many of the Arbitrie. This is such a bad spot right now for Lucifron. He really has barely any units. There is a Mangonel on the back line, but you really just got to be scratching your head at this point and wondering how the heck you're going to be able to pull this one together, because you got units that are just raiding you from all angles, and a hole in the walls opened up now. You got the castle down towards the south that you've managed to get up to. You thought it wasn't going to be a good game, but you've just opened up different spots. 17 idols inside that town center at the moment. Actually, 16 idols and a single archer, but unfortunately now we've got that forward keep going to be coming down, and this is going to seal the fate potentially of his opponent, because if Lucifron spots this keep on the front line, he's going to know there's no way he can really push into this position, and that he's going to be caught between a rock and a hard place. That keep now going to be going up. Only a handful of villagers on it, 7 villagers, so it is going to take some time. If he does get a nice Mangonel shot down there, he could potentially finish it. But all of those villagers actually got melted. I must have missed the most Whoa! Oh my god, I totally missed that, guys. I apologize. I don't know whether I caught that on the camera and I just wasn't paying attention, but he's gone from 100 villagers and just tapped out. He went down to 42 villagers. Did you see the bodies on the ground right there? It looked like, what's that song? Let the bodies hit the floor. Match complete. Fellas, the next game in this series is going to be posted up on this channel straight after. Shout out to EGC TV. Thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you guys in the next one.